time to eat that pizza. All right, does anybody know if LSU beat Vanderbilt? Anybody following? Nobody? All right, guys, players over here. Line up in alphabetical order based on your middle name. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I don't want to make this too difficult for you all. It does not matter the order. Everybody else over at the bar, if you want to participate in the program, come on over here. Well, that's how you do it. You bring the food with you. Genius. Vanderbilt. 31-24 Vanderbilt. Good to know. Looks like Ole Miss is up on Georgia, right? Anybody get the final score of the Johnny Cobbers game? 41-6. There we go. My brother was a Cobber. I'll text him after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. We got a brief program. I want to do a couple of thank yous. First of all, before we get started, first of all, I want to thank Tom Connell. Tom's right over here. Let's give Tom a round of applause. Tom kind of pulls this all together for us, so thank you for that. This is kind of our official tip-off party event that we do. I also want to thank Brett Johnson, who is the owner of the Basement Bar, for hosting us. So let's give Brett a round of applause. I realize we got the open bar longer than we anticipated, so that was very nice of him. We have Coach Smith. Where's Smitty? Smitty's he's right here. Give Coach Smith a round of applause. If you don't know, Coach Smith coached at St. John's University for 104 years. It's an all-time record. So thank you, Coach. Good to see you. Also from Benchwarmers Media, where's John and Ryan? Are they here today? Are they here? There's John. I saw Ryan earlier. Let's give them a round of applause. We're recording our session here this evening. So here's what we're going to do this evening. We're going to do some player introductions, so we get a chance to meet the team. I'm going to have a little Q&A session. Oh, by the way, I should probably say, my name is Eric Thomas. I'm a 94 grad. I had the opportunity to play for Coach Smith. We were MIAC champions back in 1993, played in the NCAA tournament. I have two Johnnies right now. I've got a senior that's up in Collegeville and a sophomore, so the tradition continues. But we're going to do some player introductions, so we're going to have the players come up here, introduce themselves. I'm going to do a little Q&A with a couple of the players. They just found out about 3 minutes ago they're being interviewed, so be nice to them. I'm going to do a little Q&A with our head coach, Pat McKenzie, and then we actually have something pretty cool we're going to do this evening. We're going to recognize the 2020 squad, and it's quite a story on a lot of fronts. Not only for the performance they had on the court, but as you can imagine, if you can remember back to 2020, some of the things they had to deal with off the court that year. So, current Johnny basketball players, listen very carefully. It's going to be real simple. You're going to come up, you're going to say your name, you're going to say what year you are at St. John's, you're going to say where you went to high school, and then you're going to sing your fight song. Not kidding. I still remember my fight song from high school. We're not going to make you do that. If you have a major, how about we give us your major? If you're undecided, just say, I don't know yet. That's totally fine. So, recap. Name, year, right? What else? High school, and your major. So who wants to be the brave one to come up first? Bert, come on up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Burke. I'm a sophomore. I went to Egan High School and I'm a finance major.
Very good. Let's walk this way. Try to clear it out over here. All right.
Hi, my name is Liam Farniak. I'm a sophomore. I went to Southwest High School and I'm an accounting major.
My name is Hudson Hochstetler. I'm a freshman. I went to St. Michael Elderville High School and I am a finance major.
Hi, my name is Obi Esparza. I went to Roosevelt High School. I'm a freshman and I'm undecided right now.
All right, a little louder. Get that microphone up to your.
All right, my name is Evan Weichert. I'm a freshman. I'm from New Prague, and I'm majoring in business.
Let's give Evan a little more round of applause for putting out a tie today. I mean, that's good. New Prague kids know how to do it. Right? Tim Ditburner still there? He's still there? Okay, good to know.
My name is Max Spanier. Went to Elk River High School. I'm a finance major and I'm a freshman.
Hello, my name is Noah George. I'm a freshman. I went to Roseville High School and I'm also a finance major.
Hey everybody, my name's Henry Cheddar. I'm a sophomore economics major and I went to Stewartville High School.
Here's our starting point guard this year.
I'm Tommy Oje. I went to Shakopee High School. I'm a freshman, and I'm a business major.
Grayson Sawyer. I'm a freshman here. I'm undecided and I'm from Rochester, John Marshall.
Hello, I'm Cole Reuter. I'm from Perham High School. I'm a freshman, and my major is finance.
Hi, my name is Peyton Podani. I'm a freshman. I went to Anoka High School, and I'm a business major.
A lot of freshmen.
Hello, I'm Jameson Lean. I'm a junior. I went to Briar Lake High School and I'm an exercise science and health major.
Hey everybody, I'm Gavin Olson. I'm a sophomore from Laconia High School, and I'm a business major.
Do you know Bart Meath? You do know Bart? Okay. He's your next door neighbor. Okay. I played with Bart back in '94.
My name is Anthony Thorman. I'm a junior. I'm a biochemistry major and I'm from Bloomington Jefferson.
There's Matt Omi. Jaguar Pride right over there. Matt Omi. Pride of Bloomington Jefferson.
I'm Justin Johnson. I'm a sophomore from De La Salle High School. And I'm a finance major.
My name is Jack Gross. I'm from Olivia, Minnesota, and I'm a G-Bus major.
Hold on, Jack. Hold on. Where's Olivia, Minnesota?
It's right off on 212 in the middle of nowhere. The corn capital, that is right. Wow. Middle of nowhere, yeah.
Just in case. I knew where it was. Some of you did not, so I wanted to make sure you all knew where Olivia was.
Hello, my name is Deontay Meeks. I went to Philwick High School. I'm a freshman and my major is finance.
Hello, I'm AJ McCleary. I'm from Matamita. I'm a junior, and I'm a Spanish and finance major.
Bueno, a little double major there. There we go.
My name is Peyton Bean. I'm from Farmington, Minnesota. I'm a junior here at St. John's and I'm a business major.
Vincent Hilshan. I'm a junior. I'm a finance major, and I'm from Hopkins.
Hey, my name is Charlie Theis. I went to Eastridge High School. I'm a sophomore here, and I'm a business major.
My name is Eli Holtz. I'm a sophomore. I went to Brainerd High School, and I'm a finance major.
Coach, Brainerd is about 20 minutes north of that little town called Little Falls. You may have heard of it. It's straight up Highway 10.
My name is Parker Wellman. I'm a sophomore. I'm a business major, and I'm from Eastridge.
Couple Eastridge kids. Love it. All right, we're getting to the end here.
I'm Thomas Mink. I'm a senior accounting major, and I went to Lewiston, Ontario High School.
Thomas has the best hair and beard of the squad. Not even close. No offense, Kyle.
Hello, my name is Kyle Johnson. I am also a senior. I went to De La Salle High School, and I am a psychology major.
To be honest with you, when I saw Thomas, I thought he was that quarterback at Notre Dame a couple of years ago. Like, he looks just like him.
Hey, my name is Harrison Kress. I'm a sophomore from Hinkley Finlayson, and I am a business major.
I'm Justin Holden. I'm a freshman. I'm from New Prague, Minnesota, and I'm a finance major.
All right, we got one more.
My name is Logan Schad. I'm a first-year manager from Melrose, Minnesota, and I'm an exercise and health science major.
That's fantastic. That's a great way to end. The Melrose Dutchman. It's where my grandparents were, so I spent a lot of time in Melrose. All right, I think we have 3 of you. I hope you know who you are that we're going to be interviewing. So if you guys could make your way to the stage. It looks like we got right over here any of these 3 chairs. All right. Thomas, I'm going to start with you. I know I had a little bit of fun with you, but when you get to be my age, you envy the hair, you envy the beard, all the above. I'm going to start by just asking you guys a real simple question. How did you find your way to St. John's? Like, how did you ultimately decide that's the school you wanted to go to?
Yeah, it started with basketball. Just getting recruited from AAU, meeting Pat, and the other coaches. And then from there, just the academics for me were big. The accounting department's super good, super well known. So that's what kind of led to me committing here.
Great. Vincent, how about you?
Yeah, a lot of the same. The coaches come to my high school games, recruit me, and then going on a visit and just noticing the community at St. John's was the biggest thing for me coming here.
Great. Kyle?
Very similar to everyone else. I believe Pat watched me play the first time at the Whitney Center, Sartell. So kept following all summer throughout my high school career, and then kind of what pushed me through it was all that St. John's had to offer from, the faith aspect and grades and the network, and it was hard to turn down.
Great. I watched this guy play against Minnetonka a number of years ago. He went off on us. I don't know if you remember that. It was a good game for you, not for my kids. All right, so we'll work our way back this way. So Kyle, I'll start with you. What are you most excited about this upcoming season? You guys had a lot of kids graduate, so it's kind of next man up. But tell me a little bit about what you're excited about for the season.
No, I think that's exactly it. I was going to say next man up. We stole it. I think what's cool about it is everyone's excited. It's a breath of fresh air. Everyone has a chance, and we're getting after it. We're learning. It'll be a little different, obviously, than the past couple of years as far as the experience goes. But I'm just excited because I think everyone, has an opportunity to finally show what they've been working on for years.
Great. Vincent, for you, what do you enjoy most about the Johnny experience, being a part of St. John's basketball? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for me, the way we compete every day in practice, I mean, we're going up and down every day, and they're longer practices, but we have fun. We get after it, and I'm having fun every day I'm playing here.
Great. And Thomas, how has practice been going? How are things going the first part of the getting things ready for the season? Did everybody pass the running test? How many times did it take you?
This is one.
Just one?
Yeah. Everybody that's healthy has passed.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But how are things going? How's the practices going? How's the team looking?
Good. I think even just this week, having 6 straight, I've seen a ton of improvement from Monday. And then shout out to Logan, our manager, for hitting a free throw, saving us from some running today.
Wait a minute. Let's back up a second. So Logan made the free throw?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So you didn't have to run?
That's right.
Student managers making free throws. That did not happen back in my day. Well done. I'm going to stick with you, Thomas. So talk a little bit about the MIAC. Who do you think's improved? Who do you think's going to be your competition? Talk a little bit about some of the teams you guys have seen and what you think going into the season is going to look like.
Sure. I think a lot of teams are in a similar boat with a lot of turnover. So a lot of them will be question marks, same as us coming in. But, Gustavus will be good, I'm sure, again. I think Augsburg has improved a lot based on what we saw this summer. But, yeah, I feel confident.
All right, Vincent, back to you. Tell me a little bit about your role on the team. I remember watching you play at Hopkins, and just a little bit about the chemistry of this team, and just a little bit more about your teammates and what you see from that perspective.
As far as my role goes, my focus is guarding the biggest guy and getting the rebounds. That's really all I'm caring about right now, letting the rest sort itself out. Team chemistry's been good. We've had good practices and bad moments, but we're sticking through it, and guys are bonded great.
Great. Kyle, I'm going to ask you a question, because I know you can score, but I know one of the things Coach McKenzie talks about a lot is defense. Talk a little bit about that side of the ball this year, and how you guys think you'll stack up defensively.
Yeah, I think the tough thing this year is just what we've kind of put in as far as technique and how we're going to guard it. Needs to be retaught, but so it's a work in progress. But I think we can do it, and like Pat says, when something good happens and he now knows we can do it, that's the baseline, and we have to do it from then on out. But I think as far as stacking up against other teams, I think we're going to bring some intensity that I think will surprise a few people.
Great. All right, we're going to wrap this up with some what I call rapid fire. So you guys are just going to pass the mic down. And by the way, these guys had no idea what questions I was going to even ask, so you've been doing pretty good. But think about your teammates. It could be one of the 3 of you sitting on stage right now, or it could be one of any of the other 20-some individuals that walked across stage. And just first name that comes into your head. So Kyle, then Vincent, then Thomas. Who keeps things light on the team?
Beta Bean.
Same question.
Oh, Beta Bean.
No doubt?
No.
Thomas?
Charlie Theis is up there too.
Okay. Who is a pain in the ass to have guarding you? Like, who just gets in your shorts? You're like, dude, just come on, we're in practice here. Like, slow down.
Yeah, probably Cheese, Henry Cheddar.
Okay.
AJ McCleary.
Okay.
I gotta go with Thomas on this one and go with Henry Cheddar.
Okay, good stuff. All right, game's on the line. Other than Logan, you need somebody to make 2 free throws. Who do you want at the line? And it can be yourself, but who do you want at the line? You're down 1, 3 seconds to go. Who do you want them to foul? Come on, go ahead.
Kyle Johnson.
Okay, I like the confidence. Did you say Kyle? Okay,
3 Kyle Johnsons.
Okay, great. Who is most likely to foul out most this season?
Maybe Henry Cheddar.
Henry Cheddar.
Charlie Theis.
Now this, coach, I need you to just kind of block this out here. When you get in a huddle, when you break for practice, who's not paying attention? Like they're just thinking about, like who's just checked out? Coach isn't listening, so you can call him out. Said a different way. Who's like on just who's on their own schedule? Who's just kind of like out there? Vincent, you got somebody? You guys are tight. You don't want to call anybody out. All right. Who's most likely to break TC? The answer should be nobody. Nobody. That's good. All right. Final question. What are you guys' plans after college? Do you have any yet? Give us a little insight of what you're thinking about after your career at St. John's.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. If I could continue to play, that'd be awesome. You know, it's not something you can pick up in 5 years, so explore that opportunity. But I'm interested in criminal psychology, and there's been a lot of, you know, having to kind of go through law enforcement and stuff as far as investigations, threat assessment, stuff like that. So just trying to talk to as many people I can that know about that field and see where I can go from there.
Great. Vincent?
Yeah, I'm very focused for practice on Monday, but after that...
Stay in the present. I love it.
I like to be an entrepreneur. I like to start my own business someday. Using a finance degree to learn that side of things, and that's really all I know for right now.
All right, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm planning on heading home for the year and study and get my CPA.
Very good. All right, let's give these guys a round of applause. All right, next I got a chance to ask a few questions of our head coach. Before I bring Pat up here, I think most of you are familiar with Coach Emcee. He's a 2004 graduate of St. John's. Coach, this is kind of hard to believe. He just completed his 10th season as head coach, and he's been pretty successful. He's got a record of 199-57. I'm not great at math, but 10 seasons, 199 wins. That's about 20 wins a season. His conference record is 146-34. He's won 5 MIAC titles. He's had 5 NCAA appearances. And what I've gotten to know about Pat over the years is he's a great recruiter. He's a great X's and O's coach. He teaches his team not only how to play offense, but also how to play defense. But he's also a great mentor and developer of young men, which for all of you parents out there, when you send your kid off to a college, yeah, they're going to play basketball, they're going to play a sport. You definitely want them to be a great coach. But more importantly, you want them walking out of that university being a better young man than when they came in, and I think Pat definitely does that. So let's give it up for Coach Pat Emcee. All right, PMAC, I got to start with the obvious. You graduated a lot of kids last year, a lot of minutes. From your perspective, talk a little bit about this season, this team, and kind of expectations going into this.
Yeah, the graduating class I think is well documented, so it's almost like a restart, which has been fun, and it's provided challenges but also a lot of excitement. So we're still in that phase of just figuring out, who we are, how we're going to play, how we're going to look. I'm not sure we even know yet how we're going to win or lose, but we've got, I think, the talent in place. It's just getting it together and making sure that by November 8th we're in a spot where we can go beat Oshkosh.
What's your non-conference schedule look like this year?
A challenging one. We've talked about this in the past. Our thought is putting ourselves in a position that we're challenged, we see good early, so that we're ready for the MIAC. Win a conference championship, compete at that level, and then the second part is, if you're good enough to be in the NCAA tournament, are you in a position to get an at-large bid? And I think as a staff, we owe it to the guys to make sure that if they're good enough, they get in. And the only way you do that is by challenging yourself in the non-conference. And so I think we've done that. We're at Oshkosh, who returns everybody. They probably have the best player, maybe the best player in the country coming back. We're at UW La Crosse, who is a top 5 team. They're in the Elite 8 last year, and they return everyone. So 2 road games there. Whitworth is coming into town, who's perennially one of the better teams in the country, and then down to Texas for 2 really strong teams down there. So it'll be a challenge, but the good news is we're going to figure out how good we are, how tough we are, and it'll get us ready.
So talk a little bit about the MIAC this year. So from your perspective, I mean, who do you think is going to be the cream of the crop, and just what does the conference look like this year?
I think there's a lot. I think it's wide open. I think it was Thomas mentioned most of the playoff teams graduate a big chunk of their production, and the teams that didn't make the playoffs return everybody. So I think it's going to be a really balanced year, probably more parity than we've seen in the past, and hopefully we're right there in the mix when all's said and done.
December 11th, for those of us that are alum, is a pretty special day. It's going to be kind of a cool opportunity. I got to tell you a quick story. I mentioned I have 2 kids that are currently at St. John's, and my sophomore, about a month ago, he texted me and he said, "Dad, you're not going to believe this." I'm like, what's going on? He said, "There's a kid in my class who's wearing a St. Thomas sweatshirt." And I was like, "Well, does he go to school there?" He's like, "Yeah." He just doesn't understand. That's just not, you just don't do that. So it's been a while since St. Thomas has been in our conference, but we have an opportunity, you have an opportunity to play in an exhibition game at their new facilities. I had the opportunity to play against Johnny Tower back when I played, but how did that come about? And from your perspective, just talk about that rivalry and that rivalry renewed and how cool of an opportunity that's going to be for you and your program.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great event. It came about, obviously there's been some interest, the fact that they have the new facility, they're wanting to sell some tickets, and I think they knew we would be a draw. So knowing Johnny and his assistant Mike Maker does the scheduling, we've talked for years now, and I think the timing was right for them to say, yeah, let's do this and try to renew the rivalry. Selfishly, for us, I don't know that it's great for our team. I mean, we're a young team. We had to give up a scrimmage. We should be scrimmaging next week, and now we're not. And so it comes during exams, after we're on the road at Gustavus, which is, so for this team, is it the best thing? I don't know. It'll be a great experience. I think it's a great thing for St. John's, and I think it's a great thing for the program. So it'll be a fun event. It'll be a good experience. But there's some pros and cons to it, obviously, right? So
I do remember Coach Smith when remember what year that was, but they played Marquette at the Bradley Center. I think at one point we were actually up. Didn't end great, but it was kind of a cool experience to play some of those exhibition games. Talk about the international program. So, and talk about where you guys are going next year, because that's been a long-standing tradition with Johnny Basketball and some of these international trips these kids get to be a part of.
Yeah, this May we'll head to Munich and Prague. Actually, you reminded me, I need to send an email, so parents, you will get something from me.
They knew that already or not?
What's that?
That they're going to Munich and Prague?
Maybe not. Okay. I'm not good at that. Ever since Kathy Budson left, I don't know what to do.
So we just broke some breaking news here tonight. Hey, Munich's a great city. I was just there for Oktoberfest, so.
Yeah, I think those of us that have had a chance to do it, it's always a highlight of the experience. And, Coach Smith, I think, had that vision that this was something guys would appreciate. And so we've been doing it ever since, and it's continued to be a part of our program. And I'll put a quick plug in. There's a international fund named after Jerry Fogarty. Last year was Jerry's the 25th year on staff, wherever Folks is.
Where's Folks?
And
Jerry, a round of applause.
And met his wife on one of those trips. And as a result, there is an endowment there that has helped our players, guys that maybe wouldn't otherwise be able to make that work. So it's been a great resource. It's been a great trip. We're looking forward to going here in May.
Great. Final question for me, and then we're going to bring up the class of 2020, or the team from 2020. You and I have talked about this. College athletics has changed pretty dramatically in the last 5 years. And it gets all the headlines at the Division I level about the transfer portal and about NIL. But two things. Talk a little bit about how that has changed college basketball, and talk a little bit about what's most important to you in building, a sustainable, program.
Yeah, it certainly changed the landscape a lot. We obviously are a little more insulated from that than others, and yet you're starting to see some of the trickle down even at the Division III level. For us, what's important is obviously talent and character. Those are the two things you're trying to find, and we've been fortunate at St. John's to be able to attract that. A lot of those guys are here currently, and the 2020 is a great example of that you can have both and you can do both, and St. John's has done that and embodied that for a long time. So we're trying to find the best players that happen to be good students and good kids, and St. John's values that, we value that, and fortunately for me, we're able to do that, and you're seeing that here tonight.
Anybody that has played for St. John's or attended St. John's University, can you just raise your hand? Just a show of hands. How many people showed up tonight to be a part of this Tip-Off Classic? Thank you for coming. We really do appreciate it. Before we bring up the 2020 squad, we got a short little video that we wanted to play with is just a little bit of a recap and a little bit about that 2019-2020 team. So let's play that.
It's just that reminder in the back of our heads that we have new expectations, new goals that we've never reached before. So every day you better be putting in that work. And then during the season, I remember earlier on in the beginning, when we were doing some of the same things that we were doing in the last year, it would kind of just set off a little red flag in my mind, like, oh, like this is a little repeat of what we're doing, like let's steer in a new direction. And I think everyone here on the call was really great about keeping everyone else accountable, pulling other people into the gym. That was the biggest difference that I found.
I wanted to piggyback off that, Juby, of like the urgency and the accountability changed tenfold. Like I feel like 2019, we were really good and we were a good team, but everybody was kind of in their own silos. And I feel like 2020 is where we really came together and like nobody was working out alone anymore. Like always bringing somebody with you, and the urgency is what did that for us, is it brought us all together and we're like, listen, we got such a distaste for losing that we're just not going to lose, whatever it takes.
And I think it was just another level. We were hyper-focused on those small details, especially early in the year and in the preseason when we got to campus, with the open gyms, with the workouts that we were doing together. That attention to detail took another step that year. It was a trickle-down effect from the top, from Pat and OB all the way down to the captains that year, and then down to everybody else on the team that year. Really quick on Pat, if we rewind a few weeks before that, pre-practice we would do a little film session up in the J Club, and I remember vividly him saying, if we do X, Y, and Z a little bit better, we can win the whole thing. And that was the first time in my 4 years, the first team where he actually said that we can win the whole thing. I'd never heard him say that about one of our teams before. And Sean, if you were to go ask him right now, like, who do you think would have won the 2020 championship? Without a doubt, he would have said us. So it was super hard when it came to that point because it wasn't like we were just a random team. We were the number 2 team in the country.
It's a group of gentlemen in a way that they talked about the heartbreak of 2020, but they didn't, Tom used the right word, but they didn't introduce a bitterness.
It's good they've grown. I hope to achieve that growth someday.
Let's bring up the guys from the 2020 squad. Come on, guys. Grab a seat. Juby, Lucas, Seth. We got 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you, 7 of you, 9 of you. Yeah, we're gonna introduce you guys first. Okay, well, we're gonna introduce all you guys. So everybody come up here. And then we're gonna do a quick Q&A with Juby and Seth and Lucas. But we want to get you guys all on stage first and foremost. So grab that microphone, Juby, hand it to Oakley, maybe start over there. Just real quickly, name, what year you graduated, and then real quickly, just what are you doing today?
Oakley Baker, graduated 2021, and I work at Allianz in Golden Valley right now. So
Let's go.
Shout out to ET.
Let's go.
Gavin Bates, I run an appliance business and sell life insurance, graduating in 21.
I like that.
Jake Binley, I was a major in accounting. I'm a senior accountant at Skyline Exhibits, and yeah. Tyler Kim, I didn't finish at St. John's, but I currently work for Samsung as a field sales manager.
John Simler, graduating in 23. I'm a supply development engineer at New Flyer. Sean Ryan, I'm a 2020 grad, and I work at De La Salle High School. I was a business major.
I'm Juby Alade. I'm a software engineer at a small company called Livefront. A little bit nerdy.
Yeah. Lucas Walford, graduated in 2020, and I work for you at Allianz.
I like that. I like that. All right, let's keep Seth, Juby, Lucas, and Baker up here. Rest of you can grab a seat. I'm going to have you guys grab a seat. 4 of you grab a chair. I'm going to have Pat come back and join me on stage here. There we go. All right. Actually, you know what, Pat? I'm going to start with you. So first of all, this squad was 27-2. They were 19-1 in conference play. Won the MIAC championship. Had beaten St. Thomas twice that year. And I can still remember the day. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember the phone call. And Pat called me up and he said, "Hey, ET," he said, "I'm sure you're seeing what's going on. Take yourself back to March of 2020. NBA was, announcing they were canceling, and there was a lot of stuff going on. And he said, we're playing St. Thomas tonight in the Sweet 16, and I think they're going to only allow parents and a very small crowd at the game tonight." And actually, I think it was the day before. And he said to me, "Do you want a ticket?" And I remember I'm like, "Pat, give it to a family member, give it to somebody else." No. And he called me back about 3 more hours and he said, "It's not going to happen." They called it off. Season's done. So imagine being a junior, a senior in college. You've worked your entire life and career to get to this point. You're playing your rival in the NCAA tournament, and you think you got a chance to win it all. I hate to do this, Pat, but how did you have that conversation with the team? What did you tell them?
I don't even really remember. It's kind of a blur. Everything's so surreal. I think there was a part of us that thought, well, maybe we'll be back in a week. There's a lot of redos you'd want, and you just didn't know. We were talking about earlier. I mean, it was not a great way to send off the group, and it was not in the coaching handbook that Smitty gave me. how to handle that one. So I honestly don't remember. I just remember getting the email, and we were meeting in the J Club for film, and that just that was it. So yeah, it was a very odd ending to what was a great year.
So I'll turn to you guys, whoever can grab the microphone. What do you remember about that day and about just being told that this isn't going to happen tonight?
I think we actually heard about it. We were all in the training room getting ready, and we saw ESPN that they canceled the D1 tournament, but then we were like, well, who knows if we'll cancel the D3. We were just kind of lying to ourselves. But it was just kind of surreal. Like, I remember we all just kind of went in the J Club room and just like sat there. We sat there for like 30 minutes, and we all just went down and like went to practice pretty much and just shot around. We didn't know what else to do, so it was just weird. Like, you never think that it's just gonna end. You always think that if you get beat, that'll be the end. The other team's better than us, but just to have that unknown was a bit strange. So I definitely remember that vividly, and just strange end of the season for sure.
Oakley, talk a little bit about that team. What made that team so special? You guys were fun to watch.
Yeah, I think you guys kind of heard some quotes in that video, but the attention to detail with that team was unlike any other team I've ever been a part of. The unselfishness, everybody knew their role and they accepted that role. They weren't focused on getting 20 a game. They weren't focused on getting X amount of shots up per game. Everybody was so unselfish, and I had never been a part of a group that did that. So I think that's what made it special for me and for the rest of the guys.
Juby, tell me a little bit about that season, about that team.
Yeah, I think it was, well, I want to start off by saying I think for sure we would have won the national championship.
I like that.
Most people here would agree with that.
We won't be Eden Prairie and hang a banner in our no. Kidding.
Well, we had St. Thomas lined up, and we had their number. We just beat them by like 20, 30, and it was without our best defensive player, Lucas. So we were like, all right, we got this. But then, yeah, tragedy struck, COVID. But yeah, just going into that year, we had a different mindset. Because the previous 2 years, we lost in the first round to teams that we should have beat. Our talent was there, but I think maybe our mindset wasn't there. So that was just a point of emphasis going in, whether it was pre-practice, pre-season, training, leading up to games, just everything was so dialed in with our team. I think it was the most special thing that I've been a part of.
Seth, what do you remember about that season?
Sean,
my bad.
I'll take Seth. That's new. I'm used to Ryan, but Seth is new. I like
Sean.
that actually. I just remember like there was a lot of unknown for us too going into that year. Like we lost Dave Stockman, who was like 20 points a game the year before. So there's kind of like where the team's at now. There's a lot of like feeling each other out. Like who's going to be the go-to guy, kind of who's going to fill what role. And it didn't start out perfectly. Like I remember vividly, we had to go down and play at Morris. Thanks for scheduling that one. I went on a Monday night, Pat. But and like we almost lost to Morris. And so like after that game, we kind of had to come together and be like, what are we? How good are we going to be? How good can we be? And I just remember that moment. Juby saving us, shooting 20 free throws that game. But for me, that was kind of the point where that season turned. Where we realized like we have to do something a little bit different, and I think like if you look at the schedule, it did change for us, and obviously we went on a pretty good run there after that game. But just like Oakley said, like everyone bought into their role, which I thought was really cool.
So I want you guys just to go down the line. We'll start with Sean Ryan. Talk about your experience just overall at St. John's. How did you get to St. John's, and if you could give each of you one piece of advice to the current players, whether they're freshmen or seniors, what would that be?
Yeah, so I'm from Apple Valley, Minnesota. I went to Eastview, and admittedly I'd never heard of St. John's until I was going into my senior year because I was going on a recruiting visit to St. Thomas, and we happened to be playing St. John's that day. So that was kind of my first foray into the St. John's experience, just seeing how cool that rivalry was. And I don't know that I knew it at the time, but kind of at that moment, I was like, I want to be a part of this thing. I want to play in this atmosphere, these type of games. And so then after that, obviously, the coaching staff must have seen me play and for some reason liked what they saw. And kind of the rest is history there. But kind of my main piece of advice for the current Johnnies is like, just go all in, right? You only get 4 years. You'll never be a part of a team like this. You'll never compete like this again. So just like give it everything you got while you're here. Get the most out of the experience.
Juby, how about you? How did you get to St. John's, and what advice would you give to the current players?
Yeah, at the end in high school, it was between St. John's and St. Thomas. And I was sitting there with my parents, and we kind of decided on St. John's. So we were like, okay, let's call Coach Pat and just like let him know the news. But we came up with a little plan to play a joke on him and say, hey Pat, after a lot of thought, we decided on St. Thomas. Sorry to let you down, but best of luck going forward. And like halfway through that, I was like, hey Pat, sorry, I decided on St. Thomas. And then the phone cut out and we lost connection. And I looked at my mom and dad and we were like, oh boy. So I called him back super quick and we were like, just kidding, St. John's. That's what it said.
We almost lost you, is what you're saying.
Almost lost me. I think
Thank God for AT&T.
Yeah, right. So that's how I ended up at St. John's. It's just a beautiful program, beautiful place for school and basketball. The culture there is just unmatched. But that kind of leads into what I can say to the players that are playing there now. It's just like, I always thought when alumni would say, it goes by fast, take advantage, blah, 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 you're just sitting there like, all right, like whatever. But 5 years removed, I'm like, wow, I'm old, and it does go by fast.
You think you're old?
So every day, literally like what Sean said, just go day by day, take advantage, bring your teammates with you. You can't do it alone. Build that community as a program, and you'll be all right.
Lucas, how about you?
Yeah, so I didn't start at St. John's. I went to Augustana. But after my freshman year, I was looking for something different. And I don't think that I toured another school. Like, I pretty much just called up Pat and said, like, hey, I think I want to come here. Went on one tour and then pretty much committed like 2 days later. So it was a really quick thing, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Loved it from the day I started, and wouldn't have had it any other way. Met some of my best friends here too. So what I'd say about like a word of advice is like kind of what we talked about in the video is like it does like putting in the extra work pretty much. Like I think that was the biggest difference between 2018 and 2019 when we lost the first round in 2020. Is we were playing our best basketball in March, and that was because we held each other accountable. Like I know you were in there half an hour early every day, hour early, same as Sean, Oakley, like all of us. Like it's pretty much expected that we were going to be in there early. So like you guys are a young team, there's a lot of unknowns going on. Like a lot of people will be vying for playing time. Like be a leader, even if you're a freshman. Like get in there a little bit early every day. Like be somebody that like other people expect will be in the gym already. Because it doesn't take that much more to like elevate your game. And then you elevate the people around you too, and you guys have a very talented team and a lot of opportunity too. Obviously you guys haven't played a game yet, but there'll be ups and downs. But just take it day by day. Like I'm sure practice sucks right now. I'm sure it's 3 hours a day. But I mean, like when we look back on that stuff, and like again, it's cliche, but give anything to have that one day. So. Enjoy the suck together. Like it does suck, but it's great. Like you guys will bond over it, and just be all in about it, because like you don't want to have any regrets when this is over. That you could have been better at this, you could have been better at that. Your team could have been better at something, because games are decided by 1 or 2 points, and if you put in the extra work, you'll come out on top. So I just say go all in, like they mentioned.
Oakley.
Just to add on to what Lucas said, some of the best advice Pat ever gave us was just don't suck. And it's pretty good life advice, I'm not gonna lie. I think touching on kind of my story though and how I got to St. John's, a similar story to Juby, a bit unique. I was connecting with Pat. We talked every couple weeks before I actually made my decision, and I wanted to make my decision before I got to the high school season. I wanted to get that decision out of the way, know where I was going, post graduation. And at the end of the we're talking. At the end of the conversation, I just go, "Hey Pat, by the way, I think I want to go to St. John's." And so I just slid that in there like it was no big deal, and I think he was pretty excited about that. But I came from a super small town, Geneva, Minnesota, and very shy, kept to myself, and I think I was very fortunate to have the basketball guys around me every single day to make friends, lifetime friends, create those relationships. So that's not taken for granted. I'm very fortunate to have that experience. And I think just some of like my advice too is while you're at St. John's, take advantage of the connections and the resources that you guys have. The Johnny Network is real. Pat will give you resources, anybody to talk to, like take advantage of that. That's why you're here. You're here to play basketball and make relationships and have fun, but utilize that Johnny Network because it's real. I took advantage of it. I was my senior year, COVID, I was calling people in the finance, accounting world every week, just trying to get to know people in the industry. So really take advantage of that because that's ultimately, why you're going to St. John's too. So, but yeah, very grateful for the experience I had at St. John's and never take it for granted.
So final question for Pat. I don't know when the last time you've seen all these guys together, but from your perspective, what do you remember about that team, that season, and tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, how special they were?
Yeah, very. And we've seen them a lot at various functions. They hit, but for starters, talent. I mean, we had everything. Athlete, shooter, defensive. We could protect the rim. So that jumped out. And then they mentioned it that they were the most accountable team we had. I don't remember having a bad practice. They just every day were locked in and held each other. I mean, it was fun because they're just there was never a dip. And every good team has like a superpower, and great teams have at least two, and then the elite teams have more than that. And they had, I thought their superpower, one of them, the separator, was that what they said. They were focused. There was an intensity of purpose, and that was the separator. And yeah, Juby's right. We lost to St. Thomas. We didn't play great, and there were some things defensively. Just our gaps were just a little shaky, and our triangles just not quite where they could be. And I told them, if we can clean these up, we're going to win it. And I believe that. And so while we didn't, I mean, ultimately, you're trying to, maximize everything you can and have the best day. And if you're process oriented, it's just about winning that day and being the absolute best. And then the outcome shouldn't matter. So, in my mind, these guys, they were at the summit. Like, they did that. We don't have the trophy to show it, but we did it, and they did it, and I'll just be forever grateful. It was a heck of a ride.
Well, again, I want to thank a lot of individuals that made this evening possible. Tom Connell again. We're talking about this, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to bring back that squad that was oh so close, and then something out of all of our control ended that season so abruptly. So we've got some special swag that we've got for this squad, so you guys will all get some of that. So the entire group that's here will find some of those other teammates that aren't here and make sure they get that as well. But again, let's give it up for these guys. Thank them for being here tonight. All right, I have one final comment from me, and then I want Pat to wrap it up here this evening. We have the place until 6 o'clock. So, and at 6 o'clock, it's that old saying, you don't have to leave, you just can't stay here. Well, you do have to leave at 6 o'clock. So at 6 o'clock, they got paying customers that want to come in here. No, anyways, but 6 o'clock, so you've got another, roughly an hour to hang around, mingle, network, see some old friends. But thank you again for coming out. This is great to see so much of the Johnny Network come back together to support Johnny basketball. It means a lot, I know, to the coaching staff, to the players. We really appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday to do that. But with that, I'm going to give it to Pat to close us out.
I got nothing else to add. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your support of Johnny basketball, and hope to see you all at the game soon. So thank you.